Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads@xzoneradiotv.com.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Unwilling to be the government's deadly assassin, gifted psychic Kahara Mitchell went AWOL and ended up buried under rubble in the wake of a great tsunami. She regained consciousness far from Earth on the medical ship of a Daguerreonian intergalactic fleet. Has she been rescued or abducted by aliens? The Chalice of Carrie, Kahira O'Donnell's latest paranormal science fiction romance, is the passionate story of an Earth woman and her destined mates, twin kings from another galaxy. Kahara uses her gifts fighting alongside Lords Rom and Ra in a war that will determine the destiny of galaxies. The Chalice of Carrie by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at KahiraO'Donnell.com or at Amazon.com.
AVS Media Demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio check.
Papa Echo November, good afternoon, read you 5.
Good afternoon, read you 5 as well, Papa Echo November.
The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hands in my...
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger or Skype, X-Zone Radio TV, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour, X-Zone Nation, is a gentleman I had the first pleasure of meeting some 20 years ago. And over the last 20 years, each and every one of you have seen him on, let's see, Sci-Fi Channel, National Geographic Channel, the Travel Channel, the History Channel. And he's considered to be the foremost authority in the ancient astronaut field. You probably have guessed by now that my guest this hour is Georgios Tsoukalos. And
Giorgio, it's such a great pleasure talking to you again after all these years. You've been one busy person, and anyone who knows anything about ancient astronaut theory knows you because, as I said during the intro, you are the leading authority right now in that field.
Oh, get out of here. Thank you very much for his amazing introduction, and I'm glad to be back on the show, and I'm glad to hear that everything is well with you.
Giorgio, over the years, how much progress has there been in the proving to the non-believers that ancient astronauts really have been here thousands of years ago?
Well, I mean, absolutely nothing, because the pieces of evidence that we've had 20 years ago or 15 years ago are as valid as they are today. Some have been removed, some have been added. For example, that one lintel stone in Egypt at Dendera that looks like a helicopter or a tank and a UFO. That has for years, for decades, that has been considered to be, the smoking gun for ancient aliens. And the bottom line is that what we're looking at there is absolutely not what it seems to be, but there are in fact two hieroglyphs superimposed on each other in three different locations, thus creating something that looks like a helicopter, looks like a UFO, and looks like a tank, but they never were those three things ever. And, so things like that, to me, when you eliminate that piece of evidence, and I've done that already back in 2006, and people are still looking at that as a valid piece of evidence, then, it's kind of unfortunate that nobody is doing the appropriate research to figure out, what can be, which evidence is correct and which one isn't.
In your opinion, Giorgio, what is the smoking gun?
Well, there are multiple avenues that one can go with this answer. But personally, I do think that there's this one site in the highlands of the Andes on the border between Bolivia and Peru, and it's on the Bolivian side of Lake Titicaca. It's a site called Pumapunku. And there we have these massive pieces of stones, these monumental blocks that have been cut with incredible precision. And that, to me, archaeologists claim that was all done with nothing else but a bunch of copper tools and maybe with some chicken bones. And if you're inclined to subscribe to that, that's fine.
All right, we're gonna have a little bit of a cliffhanger here, Giorgio, because I have to take my commercial break. Exonation, ancient aliens, ancient astronauts. The truth is out there, and we're going to be talking to Giorgio more about that here in the X Zone as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Nicholas P. Jinnix is a lover of humanity and a seeker of truth. Using facts and not opinion, he exposes misconceptions spread by religious and political organizations. While theology, engineering, and science were his fields of academics, history, philosophy, and humanities are his fields of research. His article entitled "The Obama-Iran Nuclear Deal Must Be Stopped" exposes lies by Obama to approve a nuclear deal. This deal benefits Iran domestically and militarily, but compromises the security of the United States. The Jinnix article is provided on the internet link www.rel-mar.com/NG1. That's www.rel-mar.com/NG1. Nicholas Jinnix is a lover of humanity and a seeker of truth. Using facts and not opinion, he exposes misconceptions spread by religious and political organizations. While theology, engineering, and science were his fields of academics, history, philosophy, and humanities are his fields of research. Nicholas Jinnix is devoted to informing and educating people. His article titled, "The Obama-Iran Nuclear Deal Must Be Stopped," exposes lies by President Obama to approve a nuclear deal. This deal benefits Iran domestically and militarily, but compromises the security of the United States. Nicholas Jenix's bio and books are hosted on www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Fartlets, fartlings, pongies, and honkers. They have so many names, makes you go bonkers. Rear tempest, butt bubbles, bottom burps, all aside. Why does it smell like a little rat died? Hail the fart, whenever, wherever, whoever. Its existence actually enriches our lives because it gives us those unforgettable moments that we can all recall again and again that are always good for yet another laugh. A new expose on farting. Get your copy of The Endearing Fart by Eileen Dover at www.theendearingfart.com.
Well, I just got back from Roswell, where the aliens have been. And if you ask the feds the cause, well, they'll only lie again. Now I'm hunted by the gumshoes, and I'm wanted by the cops, 'cause they think that I might be the guy making circles in the crops. And I know that there's a conspiracy from the voices in my head. Elvis lives, that's clear to me. It's McCartney who is dead. And if the Mars men should come again and take me, I will go. I will take a trip on their rocket ship. God bless the UFO. Give JFK this message. It's the Cuban Army's fault. And I know that Dave Koresh is alive inside a vault. We've seen reports in papers of a guy who knows about a car that runs on chewing gum, but the Arabs rubbed him out. And we loudly warn that America is badly unprepared. With the Cold War through, we need something new that can get you good and scared. Do you wonder just who is warning you of conspiracies today? We're the ones who fill the rumor mill. We are the CIA.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. My very special guest is Giorgio Tsoukalos. And Giorgio, there's something happening in the desert between starting on the 9th of August, going all the way through the 11th of August. Michael Lechman was with us last week talking about it. And it's called Contact in the Desert. The website is www.contactinthedesert.net. And I understand you're going to be at that event.
Yes, I will, and so will a whole bunch of other people. I mean, it's going to be, if you ever wanted to meet half of the cast of Ancient Aliens, we're all going to be at that conference. It's going to be Stephen Greer, David Wilcock, Michael Tellinger, Jason Martell, William Henry, Michael Saya, David Sereda, Richard Dolan. I mean, it's going to be a Michael Cremo even.
Wow.
It's going to be a great event, and it's going to be in at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center from August 9th through 11th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, get over to contactinthedesert.net and see what's up.
Why do you think, even today, you and I have been talking for the last 20 years about extraterrestrials, E.T. and the entire genre? It seems like everything is.
By the way, it hasn't been 20 years. It's been maybe around 15 or so.
You know, you're right. You're right. You're right. I've been doing the I've been doing the show for 21 years.
We're not that old. We're old, but we're not that old.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much for correcting me. That kind of correction I'll go for any day of the week.
see, there you go.
But more and more people are wanting answers, Giorgio. They're not settling for the answers that the rumor mill has been dishing out over the years. And yet, with all the hard work that independent researchers and television shows like yours are doing in the field to get the answers out there, everything is the same way as it was when we first started talking about it, going back 15 years ago. There has been no significant find to help the believers.
That is correct. I absolutely agree with what we're saying. However, the fact that shows like Ancient Aliens, for example, now are on TV and they're fairly successful, that to me means that there is an insatiable curiosity out there. And, you know, of course, there are new pieces of evidence that have been found that maybe we haven't yet talked about on Ancient Aliens. But for example, there now has been some genetic research that we've examined that suggests that the idea of the voice box, that we are the only animal in the animal kingdom that has a voice box in that sense with which we can form words and things like that, that is due to a genetic alteration in our genetic makeup. And then people are like, all right, so it's survival of the fittest and things like that. We had to learn how to speak. But then you look at it from another perspective and you're like, well, wait a second, what if that alternate or that genetic altercation or that change, what if that was from a direct impact of some type of extraterrestrial interference? And nobody has the answers to that, but I think they're valid questions.
Just look at the Bible, for goodness sake, and all the references that have been made to the Elohim, or those who came down from the sky, the Nephilim. I'm sorry, those who came down from the skies, and the references that you can easily interpret to being of an ET origin. The work that Eric von Däniken has done, the work that you are doing, and other credible researchers, hats off to you. But getting back to the credibility factor, I've watched your show. It's great. I love it. But there are other Mickey Mouse shows out there that I'm sorry, it shouldn't even be on the air, because what they do is they just go off the deep end.
Well, I mean, that is, and I appreciate that you're saying this because, just the other day I did another interview, a radio interview, and the interviewer asked me, so do you agree that they might be Pleiadians, or so that they might be from the Pleiades, or do you rather think that they're, from some other part of the another part of the universe or the galaxy? And I said to the guy, I said, who cares?
Yeah.
This is the problem why this whole topic isn't totally accepted into mainstream society, because here we are in the field quibbling about where are they from, what were their names, all those different things, while we completely overlook the one glaring thing, and that is, hey, we've been visited from out there, or they're still here actually, and who cares where they're from? They're from out there. That's all we need to know.
That's right.
And that is sensational enough. But, unfortunately, we need to somehow, make it more complicated. And that, I think, is one of the reasons, why some of those other shows, that people think that they have gone completely off the deep end. And that is not how you reach the mainstream, by, embracing fringe ideas.
I've had people on the show who've told me that they've been abducted by the aliens, that the aliens took them through their bedroom walls and into a spacecraft that 80 miles high, 500 miles wide,
and they were taken on a tour of the solar system and returned back to their beds. But before they were returned back to their beds, they saw infants in test tubes. And I just say, well, maybe, what if? And then it's like, no.
Yeah, it's some stories are really difficult to follow.
Yeah.
But you never say never. See, that's the thing. That's what's so crazy about this entire topic, because we just don't know.
With all the modern technology that we have now, Giorgio, why do you think that there has not been that all-conclusive photograph taken of either a UFO, a mothership, or an alien, an extraterrestrial, I should say? I say alien.
That is a perfect question. But at the same time, when was the last time you took a really good picture of the moon or of the stars with your camera? I mean, with your cell phone camera.
Yeah.
And I'm not making any excuses, and I completely understand the question, and I agree with you that where is the sharp, focused HD footage of some type of a craft? And, one could argue that footage like that exists, but in my opinion, a lot of that stuff that is crisp is, CGI.
Sure. Do you think the governments of the world are actually perpetrating a cover-up and a conspiracy when it comes to UFOs and ETs?
I don't think so, because, when you go down to the DMV, you know how the government works.
Yeah.
It's a complete, the one hand, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing almost. And so, I really don't think there is a cover-up going on in that sense, because, otherwise shows like yours or Ancient Aliens wouldn't exist, and we couldn't be talking about these things. I really do think that there is something going on, but what it is, nobody has a clue. Nobody.
When people meet you outside or at the conventions, at the seminars that you do, or when you're on the set doing Ancient Aliens, what is the main question that you get asked?
Well, the main question I get asked is, how did I get into all of this? And I usually have to, tell them that, I got introduced to this by my grandma, and that I had the great, possibility to travel around the world with my parents as a little kid. And so everywhere we went, they showed us around the monuments and things like that. And then upon returning home, my grandma would always say, all right, so you've just learned the mainstream view of those places. Let me now introduce you that there's another viewpoint.
Wow.
And so as a very young kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, I was introduced to alternative ideas of history, even though, my grandma, she, went to church every Sunday. So, one thing did not eliminate the other. Just because, she was a Bible-fearing woman, that did not preclude her from embracing extraterrestrials, or at least the ideas of, such topics.
Sure. Giorgio, stand by, my friend. You and I have to take our commercial break. We'll be back after the news. Exonation, here's a couple of websites. Contact in the Desert is going to be August the 9th to 11th. There are still some tickets available. Their website is www.contactinthedesert.net. And for more information about Giorgio and Legendary Times and the books that they have available, visit www.legendarytimesbooks.com. Giorgio and I will be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
You're listening to the X-Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Welcome back, everyone. August the 9th through the 11th. There's a big event happening in the desert. It's called Contact in the Desert. Their website is www.contactinthedesert.net. And, during the commercial break, I zipped over to their website that I've been looking at over the last couple of days. Some of the people that are there are icons when it comes to the paranormal, UFOs, extraterrestrials. For example, Dr. Stephen Greer, David Wilcox, Michael Sala, Richard Dolan, William Henry, Michael Cremo, Michael Tellinger, Roger Lear, Alfred Weber, William Brown, Travis Walton, Marshall Clarfield, James Gilliland, and this is just to name a few. There are a few tickets left, X-Zone Nation, so if you'd like to attend the lectures, the workshops, the panels, there's one place to go. It has all the information that you'll need for 9th, 10th, 11th, which is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The website is www.contactinthedesert.net. And my guest this hour is no stranger to the paranormal, UFOs, ancient astronauts, and I'm talking about Giorgio Tsoukalos, and we all know him from television on ancient aliens. And once again, thanks very much for joining us tonight, Giorgio. It's great talking to you after all these years. With all the traveling you've done during your lifetime and recently doing your TV show, have you come across anything that has been like a eureka moment for you that just blew you out of the water?
Well, there's always a few little things that you come across where you constantly put together the puzzle. But I mean, my eureka moments happened a long time ago when I visited Pumapunku for the first time, or when I visited certain museums around the world. And slowly but surely you put it together, and now it's just that the picture just starts to emerge a little bit more clear than, let's say, 15 years ago. And, the more and more people send stuff in, like, of statues that they have found somewhere else at a museum where I've never been to. So with the internet and with Facebook especially, we become an even more connected planet. And so that networking has been invaluable in trying to figure out, what was it all about, or what is it all about. And, it's amazing how, I mean, even on Ancient Aliens, we are discussing stuff where I personally didn't even know it existed. So, it's amazing what our research team has come up with. I mean, they're doing a spectacular job.
Now, for our listeners around the world who may be asking themselves, what is this Ancient Aliens TV show that these two guys are talking about? It's very simple, Exonation. Ancient Aliens explores the theories that extraterrestrials have visited Earth for millions of years. Now, that goes from the age of dinosaurs to ancient Egypt to early cave drawings to continued mass sightings in the United States. And in each episode, it's a hit TV series on History Channel. The series gives a historic depth to questions, speculations, provocative controversies, first-hand accounts, and grounded theories surrounding this age-old debate. The question: did intelligent beings from outer space actually visit Earth thousands of years ago? Do you think that question has been answered, Giorgio?
In my mind, yes, it has, because, to me, the whole ancient astronaut theory is not, and it never has been a matter of belief. It has always been a matter of knowing. I mean, I'm convinced that they were here. I don't need any, a piece of a crashed spaceship or something like that. I don't need that, because the evidence that we have in the ancient texts and the statues and the paintings and all the different relics from our ancient past, they point, of course, in my opinion, in one clear direction. And, if somebody wants to disagree with that, that is fine. I have absolutely no problem with anyone disagreeing with any of the conclusions that we draw on Ancient Aliens, and that's good. Debate is good. It becomes strange and bizarre when the debate turns to become, if the attacks become insulting and things like that, because then it's no longer a debate and it's just hurling insults, and that's really not that does not advance anything.
Why is there so much discord between different organizations within the UFO community? Why can't they work together, share the information, and solve the mystery?
That's really funny that you should ask that question, because I just finished editing an article for Legendary Times in which the author asks that exact same question, because, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
But it seems that everybody wants to reinvent the wheel. Everybody has petty hang-ups with somebody else, and it's strange. When in actuality we should find a way how we can bridge the gap between our field and the mainstream and things like that. But it's strange. I mean,
sure.
Just for the conference as well, I mean, there's some people and you read this on your Facebook wall. It's like, well, yes, I will go to this, but no, I checked the people in attendance because out of one person I am not going. I mean, it's just so odd. You have, a lineup of 50 of the best people, and because of one person that you don't like, you're not going to go to the whole event. I mean, that's crazy. So, it's just, people are bizarre. It's just, we live in a very strange world.
Strange is an understatement, my friend. Speaking about speaking about strange, one of the strangest topics that I deal with here on this show, and I know that you people on Ancient Aliens have covered this. It's called, it's the alien abduction scenario. And at the conference, Travis Walton's going to be there, and I've had the pleasure of having Travis on the show many times. I find him to be very credible. Something happened. When you look at the big picture, and you don't look at the movie, but you talk to Travis himself, you can hear it. You can hear the memories coming up to the surface, and you get a sense of what he might have gone through, because no one will ever know except Travis. Where do you believe the alien abduction scenario fits into the UFO ancient alien realm?
Yeah. Well, Travis Walton too will appear at the conference, and I just actually ran into Travis only a couple of weeks ago when we both appeared at San Diego Comic-Con for different events, but we made a point to see each other, and he looked very good and was very excited to be at Comic-Con. And I think that the whole abduction phenomenon fits into the ancient astronaut theory very well, because there are, or we have, ancient stories of abductions, where, for example, where you have the apocalypse of Abraham, where it's no longer, it used to be a part of the Bible, but if you are now trying to go and look for that passage in your regular Bible, you're not going to find it because it was taken out. So it is now an apocryphal text, and it describes how Abraham was taken up in a fiery chariot, where he was able to see the round of the earth, where he felt as if he was falling down, and then he was upside down again, and then he was right side up, and upside down, and right side up, thus describing artificial gravity, for example. And, so we have abduction stories also in ancient times. And therefore, I think that, to me, it was never the idea that, so you deal with ancient aliens, meaning how come they were here in the past, and where did they go? Why did they disappear? That was never the idea. Nobody has ever suggested that just because, aliens visited us in the past, that is, restricted to that period in time. I think that they've always been here with us and observed their quote-unquote experiment.
What is the biggest key to trying to understand this maze that we're all looking at, saying, geez, there's got to be an answer? It seems as soon as we get into this maze, we turn right, turn left, and it's a block. You've got to work your way all the way back to where you started from, basically. Is it cooperation? Is it better education? Is it understanding? Is it mutual respect between all the researchers? What do we do?
I think it's everything that you just mentioned, because, in the end, it most certainly it's collaboration, but at the same time, it's also where we live in this time where the digital age, if you remember 15 years ago, this whole digital age thing, it only began. Now it is common knowledge. Everybody grows up with it. It's second nature. But 15 years ago, the internet, it was something exciting. It was something new. And, so that is something that we have all become to experience from the cradle basically to where it is now. but I don't think that we are using it to the most effective of ways by accessing, other people's research. I mean,
exactly.
It's very individualized still, despite the internet, and that's strange.
Yeah, I was talking to Butch Witkowski last night, and he is with the PA UFO Research Center. And it seems like the majority of researchers, and I'm putting that name in brackets here, are just like the armchair quarterbacks. They do their research on the computers with other people's work instead of going out into the field and doing the research firsthand. You do it on your shows. You do it when
and that is the thing that that once you go out and you go to the libraries, or you look at the texts, or you go and look at the monuments, or you look at the artifacts in the different museums, that is way different. You have no idea how many times a week or a month I am sent an article with pictures that were clearly photoshopped, not thinking that, hey, Giorgio might have actually been at that site, and he knows that that stone is certainly not there and definitely not in that configuration, or, it's frightening what in this day and age passes for real, and, all this stuff online on YouTube about, the discoveries of bones of giants and things like that. Those are all great stories, but has an actual fossilized giant bone been discovered?
Nope.
No, only replicas are in museums or in those different places in those exhibits. There's never the actual bone where you can go and do some DNA testing. And that, to me, is a telltale sign of it not being genuine. And but does that change my opinion on the ancient astronaut theory? Absolutely not.
It's just like the other areas of the paranormal when it comes to hoaxes, fakes, lack of evidence, or created evidence to try and pull the wool over the eyes of the unsuspecting. Bigfoot, for example. All we have are these casts. There's no evidence whatsoever that can be taken to a lab for DNA analysis. There's never been a cadaver found of a Bigfoot. The same thing goes for the Loch Ness Monster, and so on and so forth.
Right.
I always say, Giorgio, that the internet is the largest septic tank ever created by mankind.
Oh, the internet! I cannot even tell you how much I agree with that statement. It is frightening. I mean, everybody checks their brain at the door the moment they turn on that machine. I mean, it is wild. I mean, I would be embarrassed to volunteer some of the thoughts that people post on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
and not just that they post it, but it's just a knee-jerk reaction. Nobody turns on their brain anymore before they talk, and that is really disconcerting. Highly fascinating and amusing and humorous, but at the same time, it's horrifying.
Yeah. And look what we're doing with our kids in school, giving them all this technology instead of the old way of communicating by talking to the person and understanding. Giorgio, stand by, good friend. You and I have to take our final break. We'll be back in about 4 minutes from now. Exonation, don't forget, Contact in the Desert, 9th to 11th of August. www.contactinthedesert.net. There are a few tickets left. And legendarytimesbooks.com for Giorgio. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Born a Shiite Muslim and taught the Quran in his youth are some of the reasons why President Obama has an affinity for Islam and the Muslim people. His nuclear deal with Iran allows them to obtain over $150 billion to stimulate their country domestically and militarily while pursuing their objective to develop a nuclear bomb. A groundbreaking article by Nicholas Jennings titled "Obama Continues to Lie to the American People" exposes many lies Obama has made. It includes lies to the American people on the Obama-Iran nuclear deal and Benghazi. The Genix article is provided on the internet link www.rel-mar.com/NG2. That's www.rel-mar.com/NG2.
When demystified, shamanism is an ancient science delving into the quantum level of life. Understanding and implementing basic shamanic principles can empower the individual to heal, manifest, and evolve in these rapidly changing times. Path Home Shamanic Art School is a one-of-a-kind Colorado State certified occupational school training and certifying shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also train individuals simply interested in empowering and enriching their lives through shamanism. Path Home's certification classes are in a week-long block format, enabling national and international students to participate. We also provide online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions as well. Discover all you can be. Enter the limitless world of shamanism today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or call 303-775-3431.
Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Oh, why you look so sad? Tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. And don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody
Exonation, Contact in the Desert, August the 9th to 11th. It is going to be the place to be on this planet and probably throughout the entire solar system. Their website is www.contactinthedesert.net. And once again, it's August the 9th through 11th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The who's who in ufology, alien abductions, New Age are going to be there. Once again, www.contactinthedesert.net is the website. There are still a few tickets available. As soon as I go to my commercial break with the news at the top of the hour, go to your computer, get those tickets, and you'll have the opportunity of meeting some of the greatest people that we've had here on this show, as well as another great person that we've had on the show, Giorgio Tsoukalos, who is with us tonight from Ancient Aliens on History Channel. And, buddy, thanks very much for joining us. Continued success. I love your show. It is, in my opinion, the benchmark on what these other wacko shows should be looking at and saying, we want to be more like this. Get rid of the sensationalism. Get rid of the special effects. Get rid of the night shot. Get back down to basic. And you and your crew do a fantastic job.
I appreciate your words, Rob. That's truly nice of you. And, Prometheus Entertainment, especially Kevin Burns, he's the executive producer. He's doing a really fantastic job at just presenting the sides and raising the questions, because except for a few people on there, there's only a few that say that is how it was. Everybody else raises questions, and since when is raising questions? Since when has that become a problem?
Raising a question is only a problem if you're hiding the truth and the answers.
Right.
And the truth is out there. I love that. I love that saying. You have to keep looking for it until you find it. And don't take someone else's word for it. Find the truth out yourself. Like you and I were talking about going to the libraries, going to the sites, doing the footwork, doing the gumshoe work yourself. Giorgio, you and I have to say so long for tonight. I wish you continued success. Have a great time at the Contact in the Desert. And we look forward to the next time you join us back here home here in the X Zone.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Rob, for having me. It was a great pleasure.
My great pleasure. And regards to you and the cast and crew of your great show, Ancient Aliens. Exonation, Giorgio Tsoukalas has been my special guest. Here are the websites again. For information on Contact in the Desert, www.contactinthedesert.net. That's www.contactinthedesert.net. Now, for more information on Giorgio, www.legendarytimesbooks.com. That's www.legendarytimesbooks.com, or you can go to legendarytimes.com. A great guy, and I love his show. It's one of the very few TV shows I watch other than the news channels. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.